right. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Now you can hear me. And the stream music's starting up now. I need to find a way to like slow fade that intro out. So, yeah, this camera is either higher or lower than before, but I'm not sure which, but we're going to try and... Hi, it's me behind all this stuff. Hello, Roxanne of the Burnt Bacon. We're working on Death Guard tonight, and I got some boys here. We have, of course, guy with the heavy bolter with a little half cape. He's cool. Have the guy with, I think it's a plague burst cannon. If we can get the camera to, there we go. He's pretty cool. All right, we were focused for a second there, and then we lost it, so. Come on. He's pretty cool. We got this guy who's got his helmet broken. Death Guard just look cool. They're really cool models. This is probably the guy we're going to start with tonight. Come on, camera. Fine, we'll use this camera. This is probably the guy we're going to start with tonight. Are neither cameras going to work with me? Are you serious? Come on now. Come on. Boom. Don't focus on my hand. Focus on the guy. There we go. That's probably who we're going to start with. Guy with a big axe. We got a guy with a Melta, I think? Or a flamer. It's a flamer. He's got a flamer. Got a guy with some chimes. He's pretty cool. It's an emblem of Nurgle. It would just focus in. There we go. He's pretty cool. He's got a mouth in his stomach. And then we have the champion of Nurgle. There's a claw. He's pretty cool. But we're probably going to work on the axe boy tonight. First thing I have to do before I paint is take my ring off. I do not want to get any paint on my wedding ring. That would not be ideal. Alright, so we're going to get the rest of the boys out of the way. Now, this will be my first time painting Death Guard. Which means there's going to be some learning. There's going to be some mistakes. There's going to be some time spent making sure that we get the colors right. And we may not be absolutely happy with him after we're done. But as always, the first thing we have to do is get all our dust off. So we have to take and be very liberal with this. Just wipe. Actually, we're going to use a bigger brush. And just wipe all of that dust off. Because the dust will catch paint. And then when the dust comes off, it takes the paint with it. It chips away. Which is also a Rundgren song, which you can check out by going to his channel. Chips Away. It's one of my favorites. And it chips away. We just get all up in there on this guy and make sure we get him completely dust free. I have been hearing about a new technique for speed painting that people are talking about called slap chop. It's something we might try here on the channel. Not with these Death Guards, but maybe with the next thing we paint. We'll see. Okay, these Plague Marines I think are pretty good. I called them Death Guards a minute ago. They're Plague Marines. Now, I've been told that since I primed them in Whitebone, or in Wraithbone, that the Militarum Green is going to come up as the right color for the Death Guard to make them look wonderful. I think Plague Bearer flesh looks closer to that color. But we're gonna try it. And I mixed the paints up really well earlier. And my file is now a shade of green from doing that. But that's okay. And we're gonna give this a shot. I'm very nervous. Afraid I'm gonna do something wrong here. But there's only one way to find out. And it's to try. You're fishing in Minecraft? Nice. Hopefully you catch some good fish. Alright, this is the first time I'll have been using Militarum Green. The wife has used it a little bit before with orcs, but... Alright, it's pretty wet. There is one of those ladybugs on my microphone, or on the camera stand. Hopefully it doesn't mess with the camera, but actually, once it starts getting a little bit less wet, it looks like about the color I want the Death Guard to be. So we're going to give it a shot. Chinese beetle, it is one of those. Yeah, it's not a regular ladybug. These are the ones that bite. I'm gonna have to mess with the focus settings again, aren't I? Because it's not focusing in on what I'm working on. Alright, let me finish getting the top of this gauntlet, and then I'll mess with those settings again. Any change I make to those settings, I have to undo when we do the building streams. I don't want that to finish out quite so thick. A good thin coat is just about the exact color that I'm looking for. Alright, let me fix the focus settings. Every time with this guy. Turn off the autofocus. Right about there should be the right focus. So there we go. Okay. I think I have that camera up a little too high too. If we bring it down a little more, it should be able to see a little better. Although I might have to redo the focus again. So Death Guard are green. Which I'm pretty excited to paint, honestly, because this will be my first green army that I've painted. Painted gold for the Custodes, gold and blue for the Thousand Sons. Then my Blood Angels and the Sisters were mixes of red and black. So I'm pretty excited to be able to get this kind of faded green going on with the Death Guard. Yeah, these are Plague Marines. That's what they're called. They serve the Chaos God Nurgle, who is the Chaos God of... Hi, Will. The Chaos God of disease and pestilence and decay. I don't know if they'll be faster to paint or slower to paint than the Sisters were. Because there's definitely more detail work to do, but the vast majority of the model is this green. And this green is looking great, by the way. I love the way it works with the Wraithbone primer to just really make that green pop. Contrast paints just continue to amaze me. Because I'm not a very good painter in my mind. The contrast paints let me do a lot that I couldn't do otherwise. Hey, well. It's going well. We're just getting started on some Plague Marines. So you might see that spot in his chest there. This light actually I think might be making things worse. I think it's harder to see because of this light than easier. Make it a little dimmer and you might actually be able to see some more detail. Those spots in there are actually like tissue. We're going to have to make them like a dull purple. There we go. Now you can see a lot better. It's going good. Spent some time with the cows earlier. Got them all saddled and taken care of. It's been really cold, so we had to put some more stuff in there to keep them warm. Some more hay. Get them all situated. That's not how that word works. My brush is starting to show signs of wear and tear after all this time. That's maybe a little darker than I'm in for it to be, but we can try and spread that out a little. I also did not mean to get that green inside the eye slits, but they're in there now, I guess. Curious. I've got a picture up over here on this other monitor of the colors they're supposed to look like, so I'll make sure I get it right, you know? I'm trying to decide how I want to do the head spike. Maybe we do up to this point in green. So we're definitely going to use a different brush. This one is. Not wanting to come to a point anymore. Minus 29 chill, wind chill. Oof. Yeah, we're supposed to drop below freezing over here tonight. And we'll see how that affects things. I am not looking forward to it. I also saw some people saying that I should be doing these assembly model-wise if I want to get them done quickly. And while I can see that, I think it's way more fun for all of us to be able to see the models, like, get finished each week, you know? Or if not finished every week, then, like, the progress we make on them. I think if we do them like assembly line, that's not going to be as fun. For anybody who doesn't know, assembly line means that I would do all the green on this guy, and then pick up the next one and do all the green on that guy, then pick up the next one and do all the green on that guy, and that just, I don't know. Why didn't I think about this before? I could lower the camera, fix the autofocus, and then I don't have to hold the model up as high when I work on it. Because you can still see it. Though now it's dark. Little by little, we're, you know, upgrading the setup all the time. All the time. I have chipped this brush with my teeth. Too much switching? Yeah. I can actually make it a lot more detailed myself now. That's nice. I'm still using this brush after saying I was going to switch it. It is my favorite brush, but it's also very much frayed now. So, we are going to do some of this in gold later. Or like a dull bronze. And you may ask, then why are we doing it in green now? We're doing it in green now because then the gold, the bronze will be over top of the green. And it'll flow a little bit more naturally. The brush adds character. Yeah, I agree, Will. It is way too much switching. I also just really like the idea of like, hey, look at what we got accomplished this week, you know? Also, I love this guy's shoulder. The bug head on the shoulder. We're gonna color that bug head in. It's gonna the eyes are gonna be colored and everything. The compound eyes. It's gonna be great. All right. Much as I do love this brush, we do need something that will work with me here. Something with a little bit of a finer tip. I can't just keep rolling it up and expecting it to work. Trant. Call in Trant to back me up. Or just character. Trant is the character of all time, that's for sure. Alright. This is a spotter brush, so it should be a lot more. May take a little bit longer, but we shouldn't have to worry about getting spots we don't want with it. I have upgraded my brush arsenal. And by that I mean I swipe my wife's brushes too. She'll never know though, right? Okay, this spotter's great for small detail, but it really does not handle brushing over a spot too well. The next time we go to do eyes, this is for sure the brush I'm bringing. It also doesn't hold much paint, which is probably a good thing. It means you get less pooling, right? But like, I want to get the back of this arm. It's not working like the old brush did, that's for sure. I guess I didn't know what I had till it was gone. But we do have a couple more brushes that should work. The old brush was a filbert. And I happen to have a second filbert here. Should hopefully work just as well as the first filbert. Yeah, that's definitely more paint than I wanted to put on there, Filbert. There we go. All right, let's start on this shoulder. I pulled that in really close to me and didn't realize I was out of the view of camera. It is Filbert, yeah. That's the name on this type of brush, and the other one's a spotter. So I said, all right, I'll respect it. That's what he wants to be called. That's what I'll call Filbert. Shoulder's starting to come together a little bit. Now the crest up there, we're going to do in a different color. There we go. Now we're going to get the back of his... Thought we named the Plague Marine? Not yet. I do think it'll be fun to name them all, but only after we know their personalities on the game board. You know, how do they act in game? How often does this guy roll high, or does he roll low, or what's his personality? You know, I know it's all dice, but I want to believe they've got personalities. Sucking Camelot in Fate Grand Order. Have you considered pulling Excalibur out of the stone? You probably have. I'm just making sure. Probably should have gone for the legs before I went for the backpack, but it was just speaking to me and I wanted it. I wanted that backpack painted. It's still a little darker than what I expected it to be, but honestly, I don't hate it. I kind of love it. You wish? Thicken that up just a little bit in places. We can always come back through later and do like a light wash to try and lighten the colors up a little if we find it too dark. But I'm kind of digging it. You may say, hey, why did we miss that spot on his helmet? That's because there's going to be a different color there. I did just accidentally splash the side of that bell in the green. That's okay. I don't think having extra green on it is going to be a problem for a Plague Marine. Right, now we need kind of a heavy just wash of the green for the back. There we go. Get under these bells. Get all these pipes. There is a belt there, but there's also a tongue over the belt. Or at least I think that's a tongue. We're going to say that it is. Just because I think it makes it nice and grosser. If it's a tongue. And plague marines are supposed to be as gross as possible. So. No, I mean, why not, right? My bot might not be happy, but... my bot's never happy, really, when you think about it. He's just always upset. I think somebody might have peed in his Cheerios. Guys starting to come together. Honestly, the more we paint on him, the more of this green we get on him, the happier I am with it. He's really starting to feel like a plague marine to me. I love plague marines. So I haven't talked about the lore of plague marines at all yet. When the Horus Heresy happened, they turned to chaos, right? They turned traitor, along with their Primarch Mortarion, and they followed the god of decay, pestilence, and disease, Nurgle. Most Death Guard are still the same Marines from when the heresy happened, because they can't really die. They can, but it's really hard to kill a Plague Marine. Because they're being kept alive by Nurgle. They have all kinds of diseases in them. But they don't feel any pain, because Nurgle has given them his blessing. So they don't feel any pain. So it's hard for them to get killed on the battlefield. There's also like bigger and beefier versions, like the Blight Lord Terminators, that are really cool. Before I got into Tyranids as my second army, Death Guard was going to be my second army. I think Death Guard is sick. I love Death Guard. They're also sick, quite literally. But they don't die. Lots of disease and pestilence and all that fun stuff, you know? Lots of that. Kind of like Thousand Sons, in a way they're trapped inside their own armor, but it's different because they're not like... in Discord? Okie doke. I'll look at it later. They're not like sand trapped in the armor. They're still alive. They can't... they're used to their armor basically by all the pestilences and plagues. There's not really anything they can do about it. Once a Plague Marine, always a Plague Marine. He's looking great! Ad time. Alright, I think we're done with green for now. Welcome back. I think we're done with the green for now. Time to start putting some other colors on him. Alright. Pizza ad. Well, that's cool. What do we want to start with? Do we want to start with the tongues? Do we want to start with the blades? Do we want to start with the bones? No, I missed a spot of green after I just started washing the brush. The spotter's still got green on it, though. We'll finish it up with spotter. Hang tight, Filbert. We'll come back to you. Your ad was for taxes? Wonderful. I still have to do those myself. I don't like doing taxes. I'm not looking forward to it. When you're a YouTuber or a streamer and you do taxes, you almost always owe money because you're self-employed. And then because the way my other job works, I'm also counted as self-employed. So taxes are not great. All right. Okay, I think now we have all the green. There's a little spot right there. We'll use our spotter brush. I'm so clever. Get. Yep. That's not a surprise, though, honestly, knowing Nightbot. Alright, so for the eyes, we want to use the same one as our bronze, which is Gore-Grunta Fur. So we're either going to do that or the Basilicanum Gray next. I think let's go ahead and do the gray. That way we can do the tongue soon, too. And then we'll get the bronze. All right. Give me some gray, Filbert. Brush is still a little wet. And because we primed it in Wraithbone, all of that is going to get a nice gray look. I want to come back through and do a little bit of extra stuff to the blade to really make it pop because it's pockmarked and it's Death Guard, you know. But for now, we'll stick with getting it all grayed up here. Be very careful there too. We don't want to get the tongue with the gray because we want the tongue to really pop with the color it's supposed to be. But if we get a little bit of the gray on the hands or anything like that, that's not a big deal because they're supposed to look grimy. Because Plague Marines are old. They've been around for a long time. Right, now we're going to flip it over and get the bottom side. There we go. And like I said, I want to do some special stuff with the blade. I want the blade to really pop. So we're probably going to put some rust on there, maybe a little bit of the bronze that we use. Oh, right, before I put this up, we still need to do the Basilicanum Gray on the backpack. Even with a guide, you're stuck? Oh no. I am nowhere near an FGO expert. Mostly because I've downloaded FGO and played it for like 15 minutes and then never touched it again. Not because it was bad, just because I didn't need another gacha in my life at that time. Now I am immune to the gacha. I have learned to be able to say no. And it was truly the most powerful ability I could have learned. You may wonder why we're not doing the whole backpack in Basilicanum Gray. It's because I have different plans for those skulls. So we're just going to do connecting points of this part in the gray. And it should make the skulls pop even more when they're not in that color. Basilicanum Gray is almost like a wash. Unless a good Gundam one comes out, then I might be in trouble. That is very true. But ever since I stopped playing Genshin Impact the second time, I am immune. That is definitely not the color I want on that horn. There we go. A little bit of it remains, but it's not bad. Okay. Now, up here, we want to get the top of this in the gray, where the bottom of it is still in the green. And it's okay if the two cross over, because again, it makes it look a little muddy. There we go. Alright. That's pretty good. Next up, we get into the colors that we haven't used yet, and I'm really excited for that. I've been hoping for a chance to use these colors soon, like the What If Gyanko? I mean, you give me a good Gundam Gacha and One of the main ways they do that is by dropping virus bombs and plague bombs onto worlds. I guess a virus bomb is a different thing, but they'll drop plague bombs or send plague bursters down to infect the populace. And once the people are all sick, then they spread it to everybody else, you know? But their models look sick, and their rules are really cool. On the tabletop, they have this thing called Disgustingly Resilient that makes it where they're really hard to put down. They're really slow. It takes them a long time to get where they're going, but they're really strong. It's a weird thing when the guys that literally poison people to death are better than most of the other Chaos Gods. Like, that's not a good thing, right? All right, let's get those tongues and those pustules and things. For that, we're going to use Gilliman Flesh. And yes, that is a tongue helping him hold his axe. And you may say, but Trey, they sound like they do a lot of terrible things. How could the other Chaos guys be worse than them? Well, like, you know, the Night Lords, they skin people alive and then use their flayed corpse as like a warning to anybody that might come through. These guys aren't like that. They're not that bad. There we go. Let's get the other tentacles coming out here. And tongues. No, people will try to pass Nurgle off as like, well, out of all of them, he's the one that's kind of good. And it's like, a little bit, I guess. But he also, like, is not a good guy. Not by far. Alright, now remember I said I wanted to spruce this axe up a little bit. I'm going to mix in just a little bit of Gilliman Flesh with the blade to make it stand out from the handle. It makes it a little bit warmer. And it just makes it pop, I think, a whole lot better. Or I'll mix a little bit of that on the bottom. I have been watching a few channels on YouTube now that give recommendations on how to highlight things and make things pop. And that happened because of you, dear chat, that asked me about my power swords on my Custodes and made me want to start highlighting my weapons and making them look really nice. So thanks, chat, because I'm really proud of how those power swords look now, and I think this axe already looks way better with this almost like copper tinge to it as compared to before. I think that's looking way more intimidating now. It looks kind of rusted up, like it's been through some battles. It's all chipped, you know? All right, this next part I'm really stoked for because we're going to use Volupus Pink, and we're going to get all of the organs and the mosquito eyes, the bug eyes on the shoulder. And the last thing we'll have to do for this guy is go back over him with the Gorgrunta fur for the copper and the Nazdrig yellow for the gold. But up until this point, I've only used Volupus Pink for purity seals So I'm really excited to get to actually paint something with it. All right. So basically anywhere there is a tear in the armor, we need to highlight an organ. And this just brings more color to everything. Like, look at how good that skeleton horde looks now that it's dried. That's looking so good. All right, we're also going to use the Volupus Pink on the tabard that he's got down here. There's a couple different colors you can do the tabards in. You can do them in pink. You can do them in blue. I like them in the pink. Just because it looks a little more sickly that way than the blue, I think. The blue looks a little too heroic. Whereas that, to me, just looks a little sickly. Almost like a giant tongue coming out of the middle of the armor. And I love that idea. If you can't tell, I like Death Guard a lot. They're absolutely abominably evil. But their models are so gross and cool that I just can't get enough. All right, now for the eyes. Sorry, I'm doing that where only I can see again. I need to move the camera further over. Where only I can see? Oh, he is really coming together. Chat, I am really happy with my progress on this guy. All right, let's get the bronze, the Gorgrunta, and the eyes, and then we will move on to the last bits. And there's a little bit of touch-up to do, but we'll wait to do touch-up on him, much like we did on the sisters, until we have them all done. And then we'll do all the touch-up at once. Get all that pink off. We did. Next is Gorgrunta Fur, which I've never used before, and I'm kind of nervous about. Ooh, that is a nice dark color. I like that a lot. All right. We're going to do the eyes with Spotter. I got really nervous there and panicked. We're going to do the eyes with Spotter. The other thing I like about this is every time I learn a new color and get to see what it can do, I increase what I can do as a painter. Like, I can do more cool stuff because I know a new color. What it looks like thin, what it looks like thick. This is a color I would use on my Necrons. To make like a nice bronzed Necron. I want to see what it looks like when it dries. A little bit of that in the blade too, why not? Alright. So that gives us those. Then we need to get under the skulls. And then we need to get the joints of the, like, the specific, the handle here for the weapon. There are a couple things that are done up in this bronze. Yeah, the trim. Can do this where you can see. Let's shift this over so I don't have to do that anymore. Come on. There we go. The edge of the trim there in gold or bronze. And then the eyes. Looks like the shoulder plates are supposed to be done in that. I hear you, Trails music. I know I'm running out of time. It's okay though, because we're almost done. I really like this guy too, because like his shoulder plate became alive. Like it got infested and became another creature, you know? That's really cool to me. Alright, that brings a lot more color to the shoulders too, I think. Although that maybe is a little too dark, but oh well. Then where else? A little bit on the gauntlets, looks like. And a little bit on the joints. Got way too much on that one. There we go. That just makes that a little darker than the others. That's all. A little bit too much there too. Still learning how this paint pools. Dang it. That's some strong stuff. I see another spot we missed for the pink. We'll get that in touch-ups. Yeah, that'll make all of those pop. And it already does. You can tell the difference right away. It's a big difference. Alright. I'm assuming the joints on the back are also going to be. They actually might not be. So we'll do it down here. Down the trail of the armor right there. That'll make that look nice without messing with it too much. And we'll put a band right across there. Alright. So now we need to get the gold. I want to do a little bit of that in the middle of that. I think that'll look better. Yeah, all that's left now is the gold and to get the spotter for the eyes and then the touch-up stuff when we get that. But I am very happy with how this turned out. And I don't think we're going to have a problem painting Death Guard at all. I already feel more confident with them than I ever felt with Sisters. Alright, I need spotter. Where are you, boy? That shader. Round. Where did we put spotter? Spotter. Here we go. Alright, spotter. I need the eyes. Oh, that's so good! Amazing what a different brush can do. There we go. Now he looks very menacing. Alright, we're going to need spotter one more time tonight, so we're going to go ahead and wash him out now. Alright. So, for the gold, and for the pustules up there, actually, I kind of want to use Eandon yellow for the pustule. I did not prepare Eandon yellow, but it's right over here. And it's a lot brighter than Nazdreg yellow. I'm going to take spotter. I'm going to take some of that Eandon yellow. Those 3 pustules on his forehead, just like that. And then why not? Let's see what the bell looks like in Eandon as compared to Nazdreg. It's going to look a lot brighter this way, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Bells are important in Nurgle because the sound of the bell is like how many chimes of the bell is how long it takes for the sickness to take in or something like that. Pretty messed up, but that's Nurgle for you. And if we wind up wanting to put some Nazdreg on there, we can later on, just to muddy that up. In fact, we're going to do just a little bit. We're going to do some touch-up real quick. I know I said we wouldn't, but just real quick, some touch-up. Because we're almost done with this guy, and I think it'd be cool to be finished with him tonight. Also, I think he looks great so far. So we're going to do just a little bit of touch-up Basilicanum Gray in 2 spots, and then we'll do a little touch-up Volupus Pink. Alright, that we just painted in the gold, in the Eandon yellow. We're going to muddy that up. The chain, I didn't mean to get part of that bell, but you know what? It's far too wet to do anything different with it now. And then we're going to get this part of the chain here and muddy up that bit in the middle. It's holding those 2 skulls together. Alright, and then we need just a little bit of Volupus Pink touch up. Making sure that's closed. I had one of them come open on me the other day, and that was not pretty. Well, crud. I shouldn't have wiped that. There we go. Now it's just a dirty bell. We might have to do touch-up on that later. But do some touch-up Volupus Pink real quick. Do we even need to open this, or can we get just a little bit from there if we wet it down again? I don't need much. I just need 1 spot. There we go. All right. I might come back through and give him another coat of green later, or some touch-up green. It definitely still turned out darker than I meant for it to, comparatively. But I'm honestly pretty happy with him. There's a couple spots where the Gorgoncha fur that I didn't realize how it worked got a little thicker than I meant for it to. But honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. The paint job doesn't look as smooth as I'd like it to. That's one thing that I've noticed with contrast already. Contrast paint gets a little bit more of the brush in it. But honestly, I kind of like it. So let me just change the focus here and we'll... There we go. There's our boy. I still have a long way to go talent-wise, I think, on the painting. Again, this is much darker than I thought it was going to be, but I don't think it looks bad. I like it. Y'all have a good evening, and, we're going to keep doing Death Guard. I'm very excited for it. Monday, of course, we'll be back with MO Mondays, playing some Lotro. Tuesday, we'll have the regular podcast. Wednesday, we'll have Rungren's Assignment. Thursday, we'll have the TTRPG podcast, haha, and we'll be talking about Pathfinder 2E. And then next Friday, we'll continue and hopefully finish The Amazing Red Warrior. But until next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. That Death Guard